would love to introduce Dr. Shinobe Aguilera, who couldn't be a better doctor to partner with us on this launch. He is the #1 injector of Sculptra worldwide. He partners with all of the major injectable brands to create and teach on injectable techniques, and he travels the world lecturing to doctors and residents on just how to do an injectable. So, pretty much a rock star for this product. Everybody welcome Dr. Shinobe Aguilera.
Excited to be here. Can you guys hear me? I'm so excited to be here. I think the last time I was as excited today was when they launched Viagra, all right? And that day shows my age, but it's really exciting to be here because this product, I was fortunate enough to do some of the studies in my practice with some of my patients, and I'm a true believer. Actually, when they gave me the opportunity, I made myself to be one of the patients because I like to try everything, and whatever my patient is using, I would like to use. But congratulations on being #1. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because since I was a resident, I've always been a fan of SkinCeuticals products, and I've been using since then. Now, by show of hand, who knows me on this crowd? Okay, and personally, and then by show of hand, who doesn't know me? Okay, so I want somebody that doesn't know me to come to the stage, just for a second. A volunteer, anybody. Just somebody who doesn't know me. Run, 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 run. Okay, cool. Here you go. Here, I help you. Here she comes, Miss America. Okay, so here, it was for something. Here's $100 for you, and I'll tell you later how you're gonna use it. But the question is, for those of you, why didn't you get up and come to stage? Besides the people that know me. Anybody? Have you ever met me before in person?
I have not.
No?
I'm Allison.
Allison Shino.
Nice to meet you.
And do you love me?
So far.
Because I gave her $100, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But one of the reasons I think probably is that, am I trustworthy? Do you trust me?
So far.
There you go. Anyway, so the point of this, and you can sit down. Thank you. Applause for her for being fearless. People do things out of, this is not working, let me see. Yeah, where do I point it? There you go. So, I'm here to talk about Asian intensifier, but I always wanted to take the opportunity to see if I can motivate you, but I feel like I don't need to motivate you because you're #1, You're #1 in this industry, so, but people do things out of love and out of fear. And if you don't know somebody, basically, you do things out of trust. And that's what you do when you come into our practices, right? You're trying to gain our trust because the market is saturated. So I will go over what do we expect from the self-rep. So I want to tell you what we see when you walk in the door and trying to get our attention. But people do things out of love and out of fear. And I use my life story because I'm no stranger of fear. My whole life, especially being a child, I grew up in fear. Fear because several things that happened to me during my development. I was born in Panama City, Panama, which is a beautiful country with great skyscrapers, beautiful, a lot of fun, but all of that if you have money. This is where I was born. Basically what you can call the projects in one of those windows, usually the one that didn't have any glasses because we didn't have money to repair it, with 7 other people in a 2-bedroom, right? Because my parents were teenagers when they had me, and I wasn't supposed to be here. So I was just a crazy night in Carnival in February. And in November, my mom. So it just shows that I grew up poor. I always had to form lines so I can get my shoes from the government, which I hated. That's why now I have a shoe fetish. Like, I love buying shoes. And I was bullied because I was different. I spoke different. I always was a little bit more androgynous than most people. So I got beat up for several reasons and abused in any imaginable form that you can imagine at home. So I've been on my own since I was age 10. Since age 10, I learned that everything in life is possible. The fact that I'm here talking to you and trying to motivate you, I can tell you that everything in life is possible as long as you put the intention to it. When everybody thought that I would never make it, because in Panama, the only way you can make it if you are born rich or with money. The way I was born, I was destined just to be poor or lived in jail. I don't know, one or the others. But even the word impossible, whenever you think that something's impossible, even the word impossible itself says that I am possible, and all of you are possible to make your dreams come true. So what I did was I never stopped dreaming. And when we get older, we are conditioned to stop dreaming and don't search or look for a future and our goals. So don't lose that. You know, the moment that you're born and you take your first breath, they're going to tell you that you are named this. I'm Catholic, so you have to be Catholic or you have to be Jewish. And in order to be successful, you have to go to school, study really hard, make a lot of money. When you have a lot of money, you're going to be happy. And I'm telling you that that's not true. I grew up really poor, and I'm able to generate a lot of money. And I tell you that money does not make you happy. It makes things easier, but it will not make you happy. So you have to find things that you love, right? You know, I'm here not because, you know, an honorarium or anything. I'm here because I love this product, I love this company, and I love to teach. So that's the only reason. So I do things out of love. I don't things out of fear. So what do I do to become successful? Well, I surrounded myself with co-dreamers, which is what every single one of you are for each other. From management to the CEO to everybody, you are co-dreamers. You believe in the same thing. And today, we will teach you to believe in HA intensifier. People that didn't believe on my dreams or didn't support me, I just didn't hang out with them because they are dream killers. So make sure you don't have to not talk to them, but just don't share your dreams with them. And people that do believe on your dreams and your goals and empower you, then you want them to be your co-dreamers. And they will assist you to get to your goals. The power intention was something that I really learned. How many of you this morning got up and said that you were going to have a great day today? Raise your hand. Wow, this is an amazing team. What happened to the rest of you? You become the victim of the circumstances. You become the dramas of everybody's drama. So when I get up in the morning, I put the intention that I'm going to have a great day, that my patients are going to be nice to me, that I'm not going to be crazy people in my practice, that the day is going to be great. You know, if you don't, you know, things will happen because you're not putting the intention. So one thing is make sure that you visualize and put the intention of what you want your day to go. Every doctor's going to love me and they're going to buy $100,000 worth of product today, right? I also learned that people not only do things out of fear and out of love, but people do, instead of respond to events and people react. And when you react, you lose a lot of valuable energy. So you gotta always choose to stay proactive. Don't be reactive. You cannot control what people are gonna say or do to you. You not control the office that you go, the doctor is a diva or divo, or, you know, I wanna say a bad word, but I don't know if there's any children here. But you're gonna find different personalities, so you don't react to them, right? You just be proactive and kill them with nice, always work. How many of you were taught that in order to make your dreams and goals come true, especially all of you in sales, you have goals, right? Maybe this month you were a hero, and, well, today is the first, right? Today you are zero, right? You have to start from zero. So that creates a lot of stress. That's why I always, you know, there are people, Vanessa, I love reps, and since I was a resident, most of my friends have become reps, or there were reps that now are my friends. And I felt for them because I know what their job consists, especially when you're dealing with people like us that a lot of us, or some of us may have egos, right? So you are taught to focus on your goals, right? You have to be laser focused. But that's just half of the story. Because if you only focus on your goal, or you just meditate like I usually do and trying to see my future, it's not going to happen. Because focusing on your goals will not happen if you continue with the same behavior, right? So what you really need to do is change your behavior. If you really want to be the top self-rep from SkinCeuticals 2017, well, you need to change the behavior of what you're doing. So stop thinking that you're going to be or see yourself. You need to see what are you doing that is inhibiting or prohibiting you to become the first salesperson for SkinCeuticals 2017. So you change your behavior. If I would have been happy just being in Panama, I would not do the steps. I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I knew I wanted to come to the United States. So I knew that I had to be in school, that I had to stay in school, that I couldn't do drugs. I drank a lot of alcohol, but that doesn't count. But I changed my behavior, and I was able to make my dreams come true. So this is my office, the first one. Having a hard time driving this, but this is the first office. And I got this office, and I started building when I was a resident. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a savings account. And I was able to manifest this. And that's why I like to use it as an example. At the end of my second year residency, I said, I want to open my office in Las Olas because I want to stay in Florida. So me and my partner at the time, we drove, and I said, that's my building. So we stopped the car, we went there, and there was a number. I called them, I said, this is a retail space, not for a doctor's office. So I went home, and I did what I always do, meditate, look, envision me being in that space. 6 months later, they called me, hey, are you still interested in that space? If you want it, it's yours. So I said, yes. And then I said, can I say crap? Crap. I don't have any money. So what am I going to do? Gene Shamo is here, so he knows me very well. So there was a time where I started speaking for Cynosure, and I wasn't even in dermatology. I was an intern in family practice, and it was because at that time, the non-course is trying to get into aesthetics, so they started using me because my relationship with my partner. So I have all the return on investments of all the lasers that they had to offer. And I went to a friend of mine and I told him, can I get you a business plan as a dermatologist? And he gave it to me. So I got that, I got the return on investment, and I created a business plan. I went to a bank. Usually as a resident, you only get $250,000 loan to open your office. $250,000, that's it. So I went there with that business plan, and I was approved for $1.2 million, and I was able to open this. And I bought all the lasers that I said I was going to have, and we have enough money to get the practice going. About 8 years later, we opened the second wing, and the practice is thriving to the fact that last month is the last month where I take new patients. I'm no longer taking new patients. So unless one of you, you just talk to Angela or Gene Shamo, I can get you in, but I'm not taking new patients because I have grown too much, and I need to have a life too. So this book also was a product of manifestation, right? I was saying, if I wanted to, I'll tell you how this book was written. So I know I'm a big procrastinator, sometimes. So I told a friend, you are a makeup artist, I'm writing a book. Could you write a little section of makeup, your makeup tips in 20s, 30s, 70s, and above? And she said, yes, I needed to get somebody to commit with me, because if nobody commits with me, a co-dreamer, that book will never happen. 2 weeks later, she comes, here it is. This is my section. And I said, crap, now I have to write my part of the book. And that's what I did. The book is a book that has every single information that you need, if it is important to you, to stay young, right? It talks about lasers, fillers, the aging phase, products, lotions, and potions, which I refer SkinCeuticals products a lot throughout the pages of that book. So the book it has a lot of information to stay useful, but it's also a spiritual book about self-love and self-acceptance. Because if you don't love yourself, it doesn't matter what I do to you. It doesn't matter how many creams you can use for SkinCeuticals. If you're not happy with yourself through all the decades, you're going to be miserable. So this book really teaches you that beauty is ageless, right? And that after age 50, you're all going to get the face that you deserve. So you better be kind and nice so you have a nice, beautiful, kind face as you get older. So I think you guys are going to get a copy of this book, so hopefully you enjoy it. So let's talk about, that was my motivation part. Thank you. And I hope that it resonates with you. So who are you? You hear about the science. You know that I love this product. I'm passionate about it, and everybody in this room that has anything to do with this product is. So you have something beautiful, special. It's like Viagra. It's going to sell by itself. You're not going to have to push it, right? Because the science behind it, like every single SkinCeutical product, is there. You just have to present it in the right way to the doctors, and we in turn will present it to our patients. So who is your patients? Who are the patients in my practice that will benefit? I believe that everybody is going to benefit with this product. There's not going to be just an age group range. I'm thinking already about the millennials, which, you know, they're more adventurous about procedures. You don't have to tell a millennial to spend money on aesthetics. It's already in their budget, in the monthly income. They want to do these procedures. But this product is great for patients that are starting to see those signs and symptoms of aging. Perhaps the crow's feet are starting to set in. Maybe the nasolabial folds is getting a little deeper or starting to form. Maybe the dreaded 11s are forming, or the crow's feet are there even when you're not smiling. That's about the 30s. So the millennials are great because 20-something to 32, right? 25 to 32. So that's a good target group that is all over this product or will be all over this product once you let them know that it exists. So that's a good patient population. Who in this crowd is 45 plus? I hate you all. Okay. So I'm 48, right? So I have two pieces of information to give you, and they're very excited. So I'm 48, and for those of you that are 45 plus, I tell you that 100 years ago, people our age were dead. So that's something to celebrate, right? You're here, we're alive, celebrating. The other thing that most of us that are 45 plus are already using some sort of injectable fillers. I lost most of my facial fat at age 37. One, because I'm very thin, so I probably had 3 fat cells, and they left right away. And then I used to be a runner, so I basically had the hollow sunken look. So all of this is fake, right? But it looks good, right? Stay there. So what happens on your 40s? Well, from mid-20s to throughout the 30s, the changes in architecture is on the skin. The skin starts getting thinner, less plumpiness, fine lines, folds starting to appear, but we still look young. Once you get close to 40 or mid-40s, then you start to see, you look in the mirror and you say, who in the hell is that, right? You look rough. You look very rough and tired. It doesn't matter how much you sleep, how much water you drink, you know, you will look rough and tired, and it has to do with the disappearance of the deep fat compartment. And when you lose the deep fat compartment, you look tired, but you don't look elderly. You start to look elderly after 50 when you start losing bone on your face. How many of you knew that part of aging is that you lose bone in the face? Bone. Very few of you, right? So yes, we do lose bone on the face. And that's when you look in the mirror and you see grandma and grandpa. So I try to teach my patients that right early from the mid-30s or early 30s to start to do things to make sure that your skin has the proper amount of collagen and elastic fiber. And this product is going to be able to achieve that in a gentle way. Because if you have a skin that is elastic, when you're starting to lose the deeper tissues, the fat, the bone, it will happen in slow motion, right? But if you have a very inelastic, unkept skin, when you start losing the deeper tissues, what's going to happen? The face is going to drop really fast. And I always use the analogy of the hefty bags, right? Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Hefty, right? So that will happen. So you want a skin that is elastic, so when the deeper tissues are changing, you are able to accommodate for the volume changes. So that is why you want to target your mid-20s to 30-somethings with this product. Now, for patients like us that are already getting injectables, we need to protect our investment, right? This is a claim that we cannot say, but I tell you, when I use the product, I always, once a year, put 0.3 cc on my cheekbones. So to lift the face and enhance it, because cheekbone is a sign of youth, beauty, and fertility. That's why when we get older, we lose them. And that's why women, when they use blush, they look younger or prettier. Now the guys in the room know, that's a nice little trick, and all of you are going to start wearing contouring next time I see you. But it does work. So definitely, you got to protect your investment. So you 40 plus, or anybody in your practice that are using injectables, or even doing any mechanical procedure like microneedling, lasers that stimulate collagen and elastic fibers, what better product to help you to have the healthy environment in the matrix to support proper production of collagen and elastic fiber. So that's why I say everybody will benefit from these products. Patients that don't think they're ready for fillers, and patients that are already using fillers. So these are some of my patients. This is Linda. She actually volunteers on my practice because she's bored. She's one of those like desperate housewives of Fort Lauderdale. But she's a sun worshiper. And you could see in the before and after, like the biggest changes that we could see is around the crow's feet, right? And that's an area where I saw the biggest changes on myself. I'm pretty good keeping everything, but it's really hard to keep the area of the eyes and the mouth younger. So you could see great changes. When I put on the study, the only thing that was done to her, this 8 weeks later, it was just use this product and nothing else. Now, the other changes that you can appreciate on Linda is around the wrinkles around the mouth. That is significant. And I tell you why it's significant, because for being a sun worshiper, her skin is really beat up, typical for her skin. I thought, lasers, maybe, I thought machine is Jesus in order to fix the skin. But you could see that we age in areas of movement, right? Most of us see changes in areas of movement first. The eye blinks about 20,000 times a day. So that's why we see a lot of changes around the eye area. The mouth, we use it to move, to make gestures, to communicate, to eat, to chew. So the mouth has a lot of movement. That's why you could see a lot of changes around the mouth. And the reason you see women suffering a lot in this area is because you guys talk too much. Right? Clap, guys. There you go. And I used to use this as a joke. But there's a lot of bone changes in a woman's face, especially on the lower face after 50. But I used to use that as a joke. But studies show that the vocabulary of a woman consists of about 20,000 words a day, which is about 13,000 more words than a man would say a day. So there you go. You talk too much. But area of movement will change. So that's why you see mainly changes around the eyes and around the mouth. Let's see if I can move this. And this is Lisa. You could see the changes around the chin, right? When you put the patients on this Visio machine, the chin kind of gets squished. You could see the resilience and the folds that are not as deep as they used to be. And she's also a patient that is about 8 weeks out in this study. Also a sun worshiper, typical Floridian type of skin. So the problem with sun worship is like, you need to know this. Fibroblasts, which are the cells that produce collagen, and in charge of that production, they need to be attached to healthy collagen. When they're not attached to healthy collagen, fibroblasts are doing something that's not necessarily what you want. They secrete collagenase. And what happens when they secrete collagenase? You break more of the collagen. So instead of making new collagen, you're breaking. So HA intensifier, by increasing the proper amount of hydration and nutrition in the dermis, will allow to have the perfect scenario for these fibroblasts to thrive and release new collagen under the skin, increasing the plumpiness of the skin, right? So it's very, very important to keep it. So even skins that you think that they may not get a good result, which I thought these sun worshippers, they did. And I think the results were significant. This is Cassandra. She's about 40, I think, this year. And, she does fillers. A lot of them. I'm obsessed with this. So I always tell her, like, you don't need anything, Cassandra. She's a good friend of mine, too. But you could see great changes around the eyes. And you could see the fall, the nasolabial fall, is not as deep, right? I always laugh because every time there's a new filler or a new neurotoxin, when you turn on the TV, there's a new cream that is laser-like, right? Filler-like, or Botox-like. And I always tell, if the patient save enough money because they're truly wasting their money on those products, they're just hope in a jar, but they don't work. They really don't work. We have a product that scientifically proven with different ways to prove you, whether it's gene expression, photograph, and studies like this that shows that this product do work. So this is not a hope in a jar. It's a product that does deliver what it promised. And this lady, 80 years old, we ever thought that you could help an 80-year-old skin, and you could see that with her, there's that line. Sometimes on this type of skin that's very thin, older, frail, and sun damage, even with fillers, you cannot get a proper hydration of the wrinkle on the fall. So for me, this result is very impressive because I could put a little bit of Velotero, a little bit of Restylane Silk, and probably get slightly better than what you see here. So I was really impressed with this photograph. So what is going to be my preferred regimen in my practice? Well, in the day, we need to protect the skin, right? And we all know the advantage of CF ferulic, retin, CF. We need to have a great antioxidant. And to me, nothing better than CF ferulic. I've been using it forever. So I'm going to tell my patients to start the morning routine with CF ferulic. Then on top, use your HA intensifier, followed by moisturizer. If needed, some skins may not need it. And then protection. We need to protect from the UV rays. So this is going to be the morning routine, and I think it makes sense. Nighttime, we know that the body goes into repair mode, and that's where you want to take advantage of the retinoic acid. So for the nighttime routine, the patient is to apply, I like to do, I think this is a little bit out of order, but we teach our patients to do things from the most liquid form to the thickest, right? So apply the HA intensifier first, and then followed by the retinoic acid, which I think it will help for people that have intolerant skin to tolerate better, right? Because the hyaluronic acid will help with the retinoic acid. And then if your skin needs it, then you can add any of the fabulous moisturizer that we have in the SkinCeuticals line. So the skin market opportunity, you have heard all the science behind. If you're not excited as I am, something's really wrong with you. Or you're a hangover. So, but definitely the opportunity is there because never before has been a product that will allow you to increase the natural amount of dermal hyaluronic acid, right? There's nothing like it, right? Most hyaluronic acid formulations, whether they tell you, because we have a lot in the practice, that mine is cross-linked and it lasts longer. But I have never seen a study how much longer does that last with the new cross-linking, right? Because we know about 30 to 50% is going to get degraded. Is it going to last an extra day? But people wash their face at night. So these are just self-pitches that some people buy into it. But this product goes beyond hydration. That's why I always said, when they ask me, could you tell the self-rep, what tagline could you tell the doctor? I came out during meditation in an airplane, that this is intense hydration with a higher purpose, right? Intense hydration with a higher purpose. Because yes, you get with 3 different types of hyaluronic acid, you are able to truly bring hydration to the skin. But this doesn't stop on the surface of the skin. It will allow your body to naturally increase its own amount of dermal hyaluronic acid. There's nobody in the industry that can claim that. You are the first one. And again, I'm not surprised because you are the innovators in this industry. So key points for selling. Well, tell your patient, to the doctors, to tell a patient that this is not just your typical humectant, that it has a higher purpose, that it will increase natural levels of dermal hyaluronic acid, which has a physiological effect under the skin. And it also is not just good enough to increase the amount of dermal hyaluronic acid. We also have ingredients that will allow you to preserve those amounts, because we know that as you get older, the levels of hyaluronic acid is decreasing. But what happens to hyaluronidase? Hyaluronidase doesn't change. So you're not making enough hyaluronic acid, but the enzyme that breaks it stays around the same amount. So it's not the perfect scenario. So now you see that it doesn't make sense if you really are a physician that is up to date, understand the science of physiological aging, that if you're not using this, you're missing the boat, because this is a good insurance to help keep the amount of hyaluronic acid, the dermal hyaluronic acid under the skin. So I wanted to give you an analogy before I went here. I want you to think of a mattress. So I want you to see the role of hyaluronic acid under the skin. So imagine that you have the mattress, and the springs of the mattress is your elastic fibers, right? Because it makes it more elastic, right, bouncy. And the wires that holding the springs together is like your collagen. They need to be a lot stronger, and it gives the tensile strength of that. Trying to sleep on the mattress. Are you gonna like it? You're gonna have a good night's sleep. So the most important part of the mattress is not that collagen and elastic fiber. It's great for structure, right? Because if without it, you won't have the resilience of the mattress or the bounciness. But for me, the most important part in the mattress is the feeling in the mattress. Because if you stuff that mattress with that feeling, which the feeling is the extracellular matrix, the hyaluronic acid, now you have a very function for that matrix, right? So that's the way I see hyaluronic acid. Because without the feeling in the matrix, it's useless. And hyaluronic acid has never gained his proper position in the world of aesthetics. It's only being the hydration. It's a good hydrator. It holds its weight 1,000 times in water, but it stops there. But when you understand that in order for the springs and the wires to have the proper array, you need that cushion in between. Because if you only have collagen elastic fiber without the matrix of hyaluronic acid providing for the scaffold for proper alignment and arrangement of collagen elastic fiber, you have a diseased state of the skin. So hyaluronic acid not only provides hydration, nutrition, but it also allows for proper array of collagen elastic fiber to give normal skin its property. And it's the matrix where cell-to-cell communication happens. It's the matrix where cells travel. And there's a lot of function of hyaluronic acid, not just pure hydration. So I'm so excited that when we're going to be talking about hyaluronic acid, it's not just gonna be about hydration. And that's something that you too should get excited about. Okay, so let me tell you really quick, because I don't know how much time I have, through the eyes of the doctor, what we see when you walk into our offices. Some of them will get annoyed by you, and you see that, right? And sometimes it's not because they don't like you. It's sometimes because most of us are 1 to 2 hours behind. So we always, true. Sometimes I could be 2 hours behind because you never know. People faint, things happen. And then, things happen. Sometimes I walk in the room and talking to the patient, and the patient is crying because she has just lost her husband. So I have to be there and be sensitive about it. So we're always running behind. So we ask you so that when you come to see us, keep that in mind that our time is actually the time of the patient. So when you take us away from the patient, we continue to be behind, and it creates chaos in the practice. So be sensitive about the time. In order to do that, you really need to be prepared, right? So failing to prepare is prepared to fail. And I see that a lot. You need to make sure that when you come in the practice, you have all your data with your new iPads. I hear you're getting iPads now. Is it true? With your new iPad, with all the data presented in a way that's easy to follow, with all your studies and all product information and marketing. Be prepared. This is what we don't want to see. And I've seen this, especially, new reps that they're going through the bags and pulling things, and I ask them, well, tell me about the product, and then they just pull the box and start reading it to me, right? We don't want to see that, because remember, this exercise about the $100, it was about trust, because she didn't know me. She knew about me, but didn't know me, but she trusted me that when she came here, I wasn't going to make fun of her or ask her a hard question or something like that. And that was the reason why some of you chose not to come up. Fear of the unknown. The other thing is know your competition. You need to know your competition, but you cannot talk bad about your competition. Doctors will train, and you could see we never talk about another colleague. There's some people that do, but it backfires because it's a small community, and it always comes back full circle. If you talk bad about your competition, it will backfire, and we frown upon because we train like that. The minute that you open your mouth and you're going to say something negative about, you could say why your product is better and show me the fact, but you cannot tell me something negative about your competition because it infuriates people. At least me. I immediately lose trust and credibility. We don't like that. The other thing that you need to know that everybody in the industry is competing for that shelf space in my practice where you should put your SkinCeuticals places. So they're all gonna come with great studies, great marketing material. They're gonna be marketing material that is as sleek or as professional as yours. So the only way you can make a big impact in any physician or in my practice if your attention, your personal attention and detail to customer service. Meaning that you should be there to train the doctor and the staff about your products, that you have great follow-up, right? So your attention to detail is very important, and your personal attention to the practice with the product, education, making sure that once you have your product positioned in your shelf, that you come and check and see how we're doing. Are the product moving? Provide solution, because I'm working, in the back. I don't know how the products are doing. Sometimes some of those products expire, right? It could be that, because you can help me. And if you help me move those products, guess what? I'm gonna get more product. But if some products are there because there's not a great customer service, there's so many times that we have to give things away or trade out because the product has sat there. Because this is what happens in our practice. You come and you get excited, get the staff excited about HA intensifier. And then all of a sudden they're all excited, and they start talking about to everybody about the product. And then a new product comes. And maybe they sweet talk the staff about it, right? And then all of a sudden your product is starting to drop in sales, right? You need to know why. And sometimes that's the reason why. So customer service is very, very important. So the best business advice that, and I'm a terrible businessman, but it was an advice that was given to me about business. And yes, I'm a doctor, but I run a business, and it's very successful. And I think it's very successful because I care about my patients. And I show that I care deeply, I care about their package, and I want them to be happy with me, and I want them to love themselves every time they see themselves in the mirror. So the best advice in business is that you are your own business. No L'Oreal, no SkinCeuticals, you. You know, every single one of you that is the self-for. You are your own business. And you should treat the people the doctors that you see or anybody that you see as if you are them, as if you're getting the services, right? Because if you do that, it's a win-win situation for yourself, the doctor, and the practice. Trying to, be, your own customer, right? So you have to be your own customer. Trying to know what would you do, how would you like to be treated, what would you like to see, and that's always a good thing. So you need a lot of support. You have to have a lot of integrity, and things will go great. So people buy from people they trust. At the bottom, this is it. We get things from people we trust. And the good news is that you're number one, right? And there's a reason why you're number one. Because we know that whenever SkinCeuticals put a product that's cosmeceutical out there, it has a lot of science behind, right? It's not something that is just like, okay, bye, look at the pretty bottle. And yes, we have vitamin C in there, but probably have very little, and it's not stable. And once you open the bottle, it's gone, right? So we buy things from SkinCeuticals because it has proven time after time again that you do have products that do work. And when you have things that do work, it does well. So there's a lot of products out there, but there's not a lot of integrity out there. A lot of people will lie to you about what they have. And you could see that all across the board in the aesthetic industry, right? They won't give you the support you need. I remember one time there was a filler that I really, really liked, and all of a sudden disappeared, and I'm just like, ooh, what happened? And I don't even know where they went. And so things like that happens in this industry. So there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of products. There's a lot of new antioxidants that come from the Himalaya, underneath a rock that can only be found by pigs. But without any science behind. There's a lot of information about products. Like every time I turn the internet, I see like a before and after of an eye cream and with Dr. Oz picture underneath. And you know that stuff don't work. So people are bombarded with these hope in a jar products. So there's a lot of things like that, but what is lacking out there is science, integrity, consistency, and sincerity. And that's something that you should all try or aim to try when you're representing SkinCeuticals out there. You already have an amazing product. I'm very excited about HA Intensifier because you are not going to have a hard sell. People are going to call you to request it. It's going to be, to me, the biggest new thing out there. At the experiment, I just pretended that I got the box. I was one of those VIP. So I got the box and I put it on Instagram. I got the most out of any videos that I ever posted in my whole Instagram. And that is without telling them what it was. So imagine when you start telling, which is today. So you have a great product, you have great science behind, and you have the support of a great team, Brenda, Angela, Jim, everybody here, they're just beautiful and so committed to this brand. So you have the best support that you could ever ask. So the other thing is that remember that we're in aesthetics and we pay attention to detail. When you go to our office, subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously, we are noticing the way you dress, your voice inflection. We notice everything. So we tell you that trying to dress for the part, which all of do. I mean, I was sitting behind and you saw beautiful blonde flowing hair and the panty, just like you all do. So I don't have to tell you this. But you definitely need to play the part in aesthetics because we see that and you only have a few seconds to make first impression. Distraction is something that we are trained, most doctors are trained to dismiss. We're trained to dismiss distraction, and sometimes we see it as unprofessional. So sometimes I see ladies that, it may work for somebody, it doesn't work with me, but, dressing a lot more provocative than they should, or very distracting like they're going to a club, right? And usually a lot of people in this industry are females. And, we tend to be a lot nicer guys to other girls. But sometimes girls are not nice to other girls. So keep that in mind, So being simple, dressing, simple, very professional and simple, and your demeanor to be simple. We don't want people that are like old car salesmen, or very aggressive. We don't want, and you don't need to. You don't need to with any of the SkinCeuticals brand, especially with this new product. I'm telling you that this product is going to be big. It's just starting today. So prepare yourself because it's going to be a really nice ride. So expectations for the start, this is just basically what you just heard, but be prepared, right? So have your presentation ready. Be honest. Don't talk bad about any other company. You just want to compare and contrast your product and say why your product is superior. No pity parties. This is a technique that has been done to me time after time again. If I don't sell 100 bottles this month, I'm going to get fired, right? I heard that a few times. So no pity party because it turns everybody off. And the minute I see you the next time, my stomach is going to feel like it turns inside out. So definitely don't try that technique. You don't have to, you're number one. And you have to behave like that. You are number one in the industry. Be aware of your vocal tone. Don't be very aggressive. Practice among each other. Like this should be a scenario, a meeting where you can just test each other, how you present to each other, and see if any of you come across like a little pushy, right? And things like that. It's really important that you don't come across like that. And go to Sephora. How many of you like to go to Sephora? I go there to do my research because I want to know what they're telling my patient because we know, and it's a fact, every time a patient does a procedure in a doctor's office, 80% of the time they're going to go to a department store and buy a product to complement or sustain the results of the injectable or the laser that they did. So why don't they get it from us? One, doctors are very bad business person, but I think we also can do better with your support, with your customer service. If you teach us how to be better at selling products in our practice, because we don't do nearly as much as we should be selling. So there's something wrong, and we need your help. We need you to put your head together in this meeting and trying to find out how can you help us to do better and sell your product. So make sure that kids. So in Sephora is great because I ask, and you could learn a lot. You could learn how not to be, right? How not to be. And you could learn what are they telling our clients or patients that they are buying products from them. They buy creams that are $400, which, sometimes I feel bad that my cream is going to cost, what's the retail price? $98. And you feel like, $98 is too much. It's not too much because people are getting $400 creams at Sephora or at the mall. So you need to help us in this meeting to come up with a plan or a way that you are a good partner to us. And you will do that by come up with idea how we can be better at selling your product, right? Great customer service. So building a great relationship of trust. And finally, there it is. So you have this amazing product. And again, be excited. It's not your typical HA, right? It goes beyond. It's intense hydration with a higher purpose. And I gave you different scenarios about it. And how am I doing with time? Good? 5 minutes, good. So people do things out of love, and people do things out of fear. So always do things from a place of love, whether it's in your personal life, at work, with your children. With anything that you do, you want to do things out of love. And remember, be proactive. Stop being reactive. Don't react to people, don't react to circumstances, because you just lose valuable energy. And when you react, you never win. Be proactive, stay in the light. And I will tell you what I want you to. Who won the $100? Let me see, right here. There you go. So we are taught, and I come from somebody that came from very poor beginnings. We are taught to always struggle. We struggle at work, we struggle. So we're taught to struggle our whole life. And especially when it comes to money. Money has neutral energy. Money is a paper which is a representation of your time and effort at work, right? But we are taught to always want more, or feeling that it's never enough. So the $100, the way you use it, you can spend it if you like, but the way that will be most useful to you, and hopefully one day will run, and you say, I still have it because I signed it and I put a little dedication is there. It's like, you always know that you have $100 with you. And the larger the amount, the domination, the more power it will have. So let's say you're walking across the street and you feel that you want to have lunch in a particular restaurant. You could say, and you don't have enough money that day, you could say, if I want to, I can eat lunch there because I have $100 with me. But I choose not to because I need to be responsible. So you don't need to be abundant to feel abundance. And abundance comes in different ways. I feel that my abundance comes from the love that I have from the people in my life. And I was able to see that during my wedding. Everybody came to my wedding, and I'm abundant. And it has nothing to do with a penny. So I want you to keep that and always know that no matter what, there's $100 in your purse. And that is going to, by itself, magically, draw more money to you. So you'll never go without. Thank you very much.